This video is about the PowerMac G4 400 that I've rescued, and I've done a little bit of restoration and repair and upgrades to it. This particular system was manufactured in 2000 or 2001, and it is all original. This was never used in a corporation or a school. It was strictly a home computer for someone, and therefore it is absolutely pristine, including the keyboard and mouse, which is rare. And these monitors, which were built, I believe, by Matsushita or Mitsubishi, they're getting rare because they do fail quite often. Anyhow, I've built this machine up to be my file storage vault for all of my my classic Mac software, which seems to be failing at an astronomical rate, and a lot of my PC software that I've lost over the years that I've been able to salvage. I actually have stored on this machine as well, including all my DOS applications, games, everything. Even the stuff I had on 5 1/4 inch disc, which I've converted. So it still is a running system that is really too old to use as a primary computer, but it's too beautiful to throw away. This was manufactured when I was in 9th grade, and I had the opportunity to use one of these when it was brand new, fresh out of the box. The media center in my high school had two Macs, and they were both G4 400s, and at the time they were the fastest machines in the building, and arguably the fastest machines in the world. Back in those days, a lot of classic Macs are still in use. So this actually did ship with OS 9, and I currently have it running OS 9 and 10.4. So I've got the best of both worlds. I use OS 9, which is what I have it running in right now, to archive stuff for the older Macs that I use. And here's OS 9 HD, and I've done a few upgrades to it. Currently it's running two 20 gig Western Digital hard drives. It has 2 gigs of RAM, all scrap memory that I had lying around. It actually has installed a brand new, the drive is 1 year old, a Sony DVD RW multi-layer drive, recordable drive. I actually trash picked that drive from a machine that was being crushed, and I upgraded the original Zip 250 or Zip 150, the Zip 100 with a Zip 250, which I actually am using to keep backup copies of all my software. There it is. The thing works pretty well. I have 2 folders, Mac software and PC software. It's not a lot of stuff, so it doesn't really equal more than, a couple hundred megs. Let's go ahead and check that. There we go. There's my software backup. And of course it has the eject key on the keyboard. Pretty nice. This was the first keyboard to have that option, and this was Apple's first optical mouse, the Pro Mouse, which is a very nice mouse for its day. I remember the first time I used one of those, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how accurate it was. It was the first optical mouse I used. Compare that to this one, which is 20 years old. Anyway, let's take a look inside. Now I'm going to make some comments here. I mean, the case design is very typical of Apple for the late 90s, early part of the century. They were getting heavy into non-conventional designs for peripherals and systems. And when you look at a machine like this, you either think it's absolutely beautiful or the ugliest thing in the world, depending on who you are and what you're looking at. I think it's actually quite nice. definitely a rapid departure from the beige boxes of the day. And the G3 350 was the first version, or the first PowerMac to have a case like this, and it was identical in almost every way, including the peripherals. Actually, no, the peripherals were different, but the monitor and the system case looked the same. Have the same easy access latch here. Just drop this panel down, and there's your motherboard and power supply, hard disk drives, CD-ROM, etc. Which is different because I think Apple is the only company to ever have their logic boards in a flip-down panel like this. Most of the PC builders would have their motherboards mounted on the main part of the case if they had an easy access panel, which some did in that time period, and they would have everything mounted inside the main case, but not split apart like this one. But this machine actually has a PC card slot, which currently holds an older airport card. It does have a built-in modem. There it is. And it has 3 PCI slots and 1 AGP slot with a 128 megabyte ATI Rage Pro, and 4 PC133 slots, fully occupied. Supports up to 2 gigs, and that's what it's maxed out as. Processor is, of course, under this heatsink, and it actually has 3 hard disk drive bays and 1 proprietary 3.5-inch bay up here for either an LS120 drive or a zip drive. There may have been other options, but I'm not aware of what they may have been. Maybe third-party options. 1 5.25-inch bay for the optical drive. This machine originally had a CD-ROM drive, and I upgraded it. So, that's pretty cool, huh? In the back, we've got 2 FireWire 400 ports, Ethernet, 2 USB, and 1 audio out and 1 audio in. Of course, there's a modem jack, RJ11 jack. And this is also fairly unique because the system itself powers the monitor. This has one of those power out jacks, which can only be used with a special power cable, and that is currently powering the monitor. And as an optional accessory, we've got the iOmega Super Drive, external USB, 3.5-inch LS120 drive, which will read and write both 1.44 or 720K floppy disks, or an LS120 disk, which is 120 megabytes. Before CD-ROM drives became affordable, this is what people were using. This was in between zip disks and CDs.